CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the CBS 42 Morning News Weekend. I'm Alex Finney, and we love having you. We have a whole lot to get to today as we round out the weekend. So let's go to this story first. Breaking overnight, the Brighton Police Department says a man is dead following a shooting last night. Now, we do know that the shooting happened around 6:30 yesterday on Clay Street. The man was taken to UAB, where he was later pronounced dead. Now, stay with CBS 42 right here throughout the show for the latest developments on the investigation. Now going over to this developing story, Birmingham firefighters are investigating a deadly house fire. We first told you about this as breaking news last night at 10 o'clock. We know the fire happened just before 9 o'clock last night on 16th Street North. Fire crews were told someone was trapped and another person inside the house was rescued and was taken to UAB Hospital to be treated for burns. Right now, we are currently working to find out how that person is doing this morning. As soon as we get information, we'll let you know right here throughout the show and online at WIAT.com. Covering Birmingham, police are investigating a double homicide after dead bodies are found inside a house on 69th Place North. Now, police have identified the people killed as 35-year-old Quinches Spradley and 45-year-old Twalis McClendon. Now, police responded to the home around 10:30 Friday night. Neighbors tell us McClendon lived that home for more than 10 years. They described him as a nice person, and as a matter of fact, following this shooting, some say now that they really don't feel safe in that neighborhood.
How you supposed to walk around? How you supposed to do that thing? I got a friend right now at my friend's house. He in a wheelchair. He can't go nowhere because he don't have a weapon. He's scared to go anywhere right now.
All right, well, people also say they would like more police patrolling that area. Now, if you have any information about the homicide, please call Crime Stoppers. Their number is 254-7777. Well, right now, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency needs your help finding a missing teenager. 14-year-old Ruby Ann Webb was last seen in Gunnersville, Alabama on Friday. She's 5 feet 6 inches and weighs about 180 pounds. She has green eyes and brown hair. Now, if you've seen her or you know where she could be, please call the Gunnersville Police Department, and their number. Actually, just call 911 and they'll be able to get you in touch with that department. All right, going over now to weather with Storm Track meteorologist Michael Smith. Hey.
Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, it's Sunday. Cold front has moved through. Temperatures outside noticeably colder compared to yesterday morning. The sky is clear. Live look at Birmingham. So clear and cool. High pressure in charge for the time being. There's the cold front down across parts of South Alabama, the panhandle of Florida, and stalled on the backside of it where moisture continues to build. So overall, a good looking start, a cool start to our Sunday morning. The radar sweep nice and clean. Temperatures currently in the 40s in a few spots. Case in point, Moody, 38 degrees. It's 44 in Gadsden. Hey, maybe you're going to go out, hit the lakes today. Here's a look at the lake forecast for you. Lots of sun, cooler today. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Hour by hour forecast. Once the sun comes up, a beautiful sunrise expected this morning. Temperatures will rebound into the mid to upper 50s by 12 o'clock this afternoon. High temperatures today in the mid 60s. Alex.
All right, Michael, thank you. President Trump takes to Twitter after his meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Now, in the tweet, he talked about how he actually had a good meeting with Merkel, but he also said that Germany owes, quote, vast sums of money to NATO. Now, during Friday's meeting, the two leaders did not shake hands, which is customary. Meanwhile, the president is at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida this weekend. And as a matter of fact, speaking of that, security was tight yesterday after the Secret Service says a man jumped over a bike rack in an attempt, apparently, to get to the White House fence. Now, the House of Representatives is set to vote on a health care bill this Thursday. Well, meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence is back in Florida promoting the new American Health Care Act. He's in Florida for a listening session with local businesses in Jacksonville to discuss repealing and replacing Obamacare. The Republican health care plan would, among other things, kill tax penalties for people who don't buy insurance and Medicaid expansion. Good news to some, however, but the bill still faces an uphill battle.
Replace it with real solutions built on freedom, personal responsibility, and state flexibility and reform. That's what works, and that's what President Trump's plan for health care reform will do for the American people.
Well, since the introduction of the American Health Care Act earlier this month, the bill has been criticized from both Democratic and Republican lawmakers. The GOP health care bill cleared the Budget Committee on Thursday and now moves to the House Rules Committee, where it may be amended. Well, meanwhile, supporters and opponents of the health care bill rallied outside the Mac Papers Company headquarters in Jacksonville, Florida, where Pence spoke Saturday. Now, Pence said that Obamacare broke its promises and it's coming to an end. Now, some Trump supporters said that, well, hopefully it will make things better. Take a listen.
I remember when people could make a decent living, where women didn't have to work if they didn't want to work. Now everybody's got to work for way less than we worked for when we were coming up. I want this for my kids and my grandkids, what I had, not what we have now. Ugh.
Now, we are going to continue to follow the new health care bill and the Trump administration, so stay with us for up-to-the-minute coverage right here on CBS 42 on air and also online at WIAT.com. Going over now to this story, the husband of White House counselor Kellyanne Conway is expected to be nominated for a key Justice Department job. Now, according to two sources, George Conway is expected to be picked to run the department's civil division. Now, that means he would handle all major legal challenges to President Trump's initiatives, such as his controversial travel ban, which we all know very well at this point. Conway is a partner at a Wall Street law firm right now, and most of his legal experience includes securities, mergers, acquisitions, and contract litigation. We will all be watching that closely. And now take a close look at this video. People displaced after a massive fire in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, are getting their first look at the damage. Yesterday, they were able to pick up their belongings, and David Meyer, who actually lives just across the road from where the fire started, he says that he wasn't home at the time, but he went straight home when he found out what was happening.
Very fortunate. I didn't really see any damage on my side. I'm facing the opposite side.
The fire started in a high-rise under construction Thursday night, damaging 10 other nearby buildings. Hundreds of residents were evacuated, and it could take months to repair their homes. New this morning from Montgomery, as a matter of fact, the Alabama Community College System appoints a permanent chancellor. We know Jimmy Baker will assume the position on April 1st. He became the acting chancellor last year when Chancellor Mark Heinrich took a medical leave of absence. Heinrich submitted his resignation last month because of health issues. In education news this morning, trustees will be voting on a new president of Auburn University. An announcement from the university says board members have a special called meeting set for tomorrow morning to name a new president. The board is looking for a successor to Jay Gouge, who, as a matter of fact, plans to retire this summer. He's been president since 2007. The Birmingham Civil Rights Institute is scheduled to reopen to the public on Thursday. This follows the second phase of building renovations. The BCRI will begin scheduling their tours immediately, so stay posted for that. Now, the center is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday and from 1 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Happening today, it's the official crowning of Miss Black Alabama. The crowning will be held at 4 o'clock at Miles College. College senior Melanie K. Watson will be representing Alabama in the Miss Black USA pageant in Washington, D.C., and that pageant is set for August. We wish her all the best luck, right? All right, let's take a look now at your top headlines to know this Sunday morning. First, over to this story. Firefighters in Phoenix, Arizona are called to this massive fire at a senior living complex. We know that the complex was under construction when the fire started, and 20 people from neighboring homes were evacuated, but luckily no one was injured. And 2 teenagers have died in a suspected arson fire in Baltimore. It happened yesterday morning, and a woman is in serious condition this morning after jumping from the 3rd floor to escape the flames. 5 other people were taken to the hospital, but they're expected to be okay. Now, right now, police are also looking for surveillance videos and checking to see if the fire could possibly be related to shootings that have happened in the area, specifically last Thursday. And Pope Francis will visit Egypt at the end of April, according to the Vatican press office. Now, the statement says the Pope will visit Cairo, and the Pope's visit comes after he received an invitation from the Egyptian president. The trip will coincide with the 70th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between Egypt and the Vatican. And as always, you can stay up to date on the latest news, of course, going to our website, WIAT.com. We update that by the minute. So go there for all the updates throughout the show, and also once we get off air at 7 a.m. But in the meantime, we still have a whole lot of show to get to. Your time right now, it is 5:10, and after the break, Google has always been on the cutting edge of technology, and guess what? They're going even a little bit further. Next, the newest place you'll be able to get their Street View maps. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News. We'll be right back.
Good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. Live look, Gadsden. The sky is clear this morning. Yesterday it was raining. Then we saw the sunshine for the second part of the day, and the winds were whipping yesterday afternoon and evening. So drier, cooler air has filtered in across Central Alabama. Anniston, you're at 48 right now. However, Moody's at 38, Birmingham 45, Coleman 41. High pressure anchored across parts of Tennessee, so a nice clear and cool start to our morning. Temperatures mainly in the 30s and 40s, but a nice steady climb into the low 50s by 10 o'clock. 12 o'clock this afternoon, 57, and then we'll peak right around 65 later on this afternoon between 3 and 4. Our average high for this time of year is 67. All right, Storm Track 7-day forecast. Spring arrives tomorrow, first day of spring, and then temperatures, whoa, they're going to feel more like summer on Tuesday. Showers and storms are back Wednesday through next Saturday. Okie dokie, Google has collected imagery from all over the world for its Street View project, but now it's adding one very unique place to its maps. Users can now see amazing images of an active, get this, volcano. Google sent crews to an island in the South Pacific to find out what it's like to see and get an up-close and personal look at that particular volcano. The team got that look with the giant lava and everything else you could possibly imagine from being inside of a volcano. And there you go. Google's got it going on.
Wow, there was a whole lot in that story, but yeah, that's the gist.
A lot in that story. Google will take you there.
Google's winning. All right. Well, Michael, you probably remember this. Last weekend, and for all of our viewers, we told you about the 3 women in Donavant, Alabama, who found a balloon belonging to the family of a little boy who recently passed away. Well, now there's a brand new development in the story. As a matter of fact, yesterday, those women sent the balloon and some cards and gifts to the family of Cooper Hodges in North Alabama. There's a twist to the story, though, however. They originally thought the balloon had come from South Carolina, where Cooper Finley's family lives. So they also sent cards and gifts to that family as well, and even donated $100 to the Finley's American Heart Association walk. Well, over in Alabaster now, 2 young entrepreneurs are opening up a lemonade stand, and it's all for a good cause. Summer and Grants are raising money for the Alabaster Fire Department, and it's all to help save Engine 1. As some of you may know, the department has been trying to raise money to restore the antique fire truck for several months through a GoFundMe. Well, they're also looking for corporate sponsors, but in the meantime, they've got some little sponsors right there. How adorable are they? Summer and Grants have raised $163 through their lemonade stand. Good for them. Go on. All right. The city of Birmingham now is stopping to honor the memory of a local civil rights icon. We shall overcome. The Birmingham chapter of the NAACP gathered at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute for a wreath laying in honor of Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth. Now, Shuttlesworth led the fight for equal rights in Birmingham in the 1960s and co-founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The BCRI wanted to honor Shuttlesworth's life and his work in the fight for civil rights.
We're reminded of how so many other people were able to persevere when it seems like things were so insurmountable, and it gives us hope that we can do it.
Reverend Shuttlesworth died in 2011 at the age of 95. All right, well, in consumer news this morning, we have a very important warning to protect you against a credit fraud scam. So listen up. Scammers are coming up with a new and very clever way to access your credit card. They're pretending to be credit card fraud investigators. Now, while a lot of us may, we get a call from our credit or our debit card company asking if we've made a purchase, listen to this. Scammers realize this is a clever way to get you to give out your personal information. That's just what happened to one woman.
They were saying that they were with Bank of America and they had fraudulent charges on my account, and I needed to verify that I was the rightful owner of the credit card with my username and password.
All right, well, in some cases, the scammers ask for your 3-digit security code as verification, which we know is usually on the back of your card. A fraud investigator says if anyone asks for your card number or expiration date, that should be a red flag to you. And of course, as always, if you get a suspicious call like this, just hang up immediately. Thousands of U.S. veterans could find their next assignment at IBM. The computer company plans to hire 2,000 vets over the next 4 years as part of an expansion plan. It comes after IBM announced in December its hopes to hire 25,000 people, and some of those jobs are being called new-collar jobs, which is a four-year degree. A four-year degree, as a matter of fact, isn't required. And over to this now. One robot could make your next trip to the grocery store, yeah, just a little bit easier. This robot is called Jita, and it's designed to get your groceries and other things from the store. And the robot can haul up to 40 pounds as it links up with a device on your belt. Huh, look at that. Jita should also be able to go on its own and pick up your merchandise while you stay in your house, waiting on it to arrive. It's expected to go into production next year. How cool is that? All right. Going now over to this story, some sad news in the music world. Fans around the world are saying goodbye to rock and roll legend Chuck Berry. Police say the 90-year-old was found unresponsive at a home in St. Charles County, Missouri yesterday. Berry was behind a series of rock and blues classics, including Johnny B. Good, Roll Over Beethoven, and Sweet Little 16, which, oh, I love that song. He was also inducted into both the Rock and Roll and Blues Hall of Fame. All right, he will be missed. Well, new this morning, some celebrities are using the power of social media to fight hunger in Somalia. They include actor Ben Stiller and NFL star Colin Kaepernick. They reached out to Turkish Airlines on Twitter to send a plane load of food to Somalia, and the airline responded within a couple of hours, promising to deliver 60 tons of food. And the stars then started a GoFundMe page, raising $1 million, and get this, in just 19 hours. That's good news there. All right, your time right now. It is 5:20 this morning, and after the break, Birmingham is known, of course, for having really good food, right? Yeah, and also a new addition is getting even more attention when we're talking about the food world here in Birmingham. Straight ahead, we're off to the kitchens of the Pizitz Food Hall for a look that will definitely make you hungry this Sunday morning. If you haven't already had your breakfast, this will definitely get you in the mood. We'll be right back with much more right after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Birmingham's Pizitz Food Hall is one of the city's newest destinations for amazing food. And real-time traffic anchor Rachel Lundberg takes a trip to the food hall, and she's in the kitchen to sample some of the best dishes. Take a look.
Well, there's something for everyone definitely at this food hall. I've never had tacos, authentic ramen, queso ice cream, and Hawaiian-inspired dishes all at the same place and at once. Check it out.
We're getting in the kitchen at the different stations offered at the new Pizitz Food Hall. Top chefs from Birmingham, but also across the world here just for this.
Tacos, this is out of New York, right?
Yes, there's 4 of these in Manhattan. We're moving here.
Are you from New York?
Tacos are on the menu at Choza Taqueria.
The steak barbacoa. And your carnitas.
All right, you try one, I'll try one.
You see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Good, right?
Mm-hmm. So the concept is if we came to lunch and you wanted a taco and I wanted a hamburger, we could go get that done.
That was a big bite.
You made a big pork taco.
I want to try the chicken waffle. I guess the Belgian.
If it was on the weekends, we could go get a beer and then sit anywhere in the common areas inside the food hall, or we could actually go out into the courtyard as well.
Very good, very good.
It's an upscale cafeteria family-style food stop.
We're a super tight family.
You are?
Yeah, the ramen guys, we all know each other from history, like past history. Ono Poke is one of my favorite people.
Roscoe said he loves you guys.
Oh, we love him too.
Now we're at Ono Poke to get a taste of what we could order in Hawaii.
Poke means, you know, chunks of fish that are cut into square pieces.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
you how many people told me don't miss out on the ramen place. So
good, I'm glad to hear it.
Okay, so what are we gonna make?
Let's make a tonkatsu. We'll stir. That's our most popular. Don't be afraid to slurp, it's encouraged.
It's really good and I slurped.
For details on location, hours, prices, and a bio on all the different stations that you can enjoy, just go to WIT.com, search Rachel on the Road or Pizitz Food Hall. In the studio, Rachel Lundberg, CBS 42, local coverage you can count on.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for making us so hungry this morning. That was so good. All that food looked delicious, too. Michael, I think we got to go try it out.
Yeah,
let's
go. Food? Hey, Rachel, give us a bite. You never leave this joint.
Hey, Rachel, come off the road. Come over here. Bring us a dish. No, great job, Rachel. Thanks so much. All right, Michael, let's look at weather now with you because, boy, oh boy.
Because we need to do that.
I needed a jacket this morning, but I didn't think I needed my big puffer that I had on.
Yeah. Okay,
so but somewhere in between?
Heads up, yeah, somewhere in between. It's a little colder, a lot colder than it was yesterday morning at this time. We're down into the 40s. Cold front has moved through. The sky is clear. A live look at the Magic City. So clear and cool as we kick it off this Sunday morning. All right, storm track radar is quiet. That was not the case yesterday morning. I want to update you quickly on the drought situation here. We're chipping away at it slowly but surely. So a good chunk of central Alabama is still underneath that severe to extreme drought condition, but places like Clanton, just abnormal. So that's a big improvement compared to just, let's say, 4 to 5 months ago. Right now, it is 37. Good morning to you, Moody. 40 in Coleman, 41 Double Springs. T-Town checks in at 42. Storm track futurecast clouds, lack thereof, radar, lack thereof any rain as we head our way through this Sunday. Temperatures again cool this morning. Comfortable this afternoon, mid-60s. A few clouds come in from the west. Tomorrow morning, mainly cloudy with temperatures in the 40s. And then we're going to notice those temperatures kind of hang out in the 60s as we kick off our Tuesday. And look at this, Tuesday afternoon in the lower 80s. So spring is a knockin'. It starts officially Monday. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Highs on Tuesday, the lower 80s. Showers around Wednesday, Thursday, and then showers and storms looking ahead to next Saturday. Alex.
All right, Michael, thank you so much. And everybody, we have so much more right after the break. Going to this story first, so stay with us. Breaking overnight, it's another security alert at the White House. And after the break, what a man claimed to have in his car, plus the streets that are now being closed as a result of all of this. This developing story, we have the latest updates on this situation coming up in about 3 minutes. So stay with us here on CBS 42 Morning News. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Alex Finney, and this is the CBS 42 Morning News Weekend. It is 5:30 on the dot, so let's get a check on your weekend forecast, shall we? Storm Check meteorologist Michael Smith is going to take it away. Hey,
take it away. Let's do it. Let's jump into the forecast. It is clear and colder out this morning. Live look at Gadsden. Temperatures currently in the 30s and 40s. Storm Track radar, the sweep comes back clean. Yesterday we got that beneficial rain. Today the rain is out. Cooler, drier air is in. All right, let's talk about the numbers on your thermometers. 37. Good morning to you, Moody. 45. Birmingham, Double Springs. 41, along with Hamilton. Fayetteville's at 42. Tuscaloosa, 42 as well. Talladega, good morning, starting out at 43. So temperatures early in the 30s and 40s. We're going to climb into the 50s by, I'd say, 10 o'clock this morning. 12 o'clock this afternoon, the upper 50s, and we'll peak right around 65 between 3 and 4. Our average high for this time of year is 67. Okay, allergy report. Let's talk about what may be making you sneeze, those watery eyes. It is likely to be trees coming in with a medium or moderate report there with the allergies, and grasses, the count is low. All right, Storm Track 7-day forecast featuring first day of spring, Monday. So temperatures in the mid 70s. Then we soar into the low 80s on Tuesday. Showers are back Wednesday, Thursday, with showers and storms in the forecast Saturday. Alex.
All right, Michael, thank you. Breaking overnight, it's another security alert at the White House. Secret Service says they detained a man who drove up to a White House checkpoint late last night and claimed to have a bomb inside his car. Now, several streets around the White House are currently closed as Secret Service investigates exactly what's going on here. This is the third security breach in just 8 days. Wow. Well, we'll continue to stay on that for you. Meanwhile, new this morning, as the search continues for missing 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas, One Tennessee City is coming together for a very special vigil. We have a look at how the city of Columbia, Tennessee is providing hope during the search efforts.
What is supposed to be the setting for youth and fun
we're praying for her
became the backdrop for a somber gathering.
Well, there's a lot of people praying for you.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
A gathering brightened by candles and eclipsed by sadness.
What strikes me tonight is I look and I see these candles, and they're candles against darkness.
It's all for missing 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas.
She was the one who completed the family and made everything better.
Family and friends agonizingly pray for her to come back home safely.
Sorry.
They're also pleading for the man TBI says kidnapped her to surrender. Elizabeth's former high school teacher, Tad Cummins.
He stole my daughter from me. He didn't just steal from me. He stole from the Murray County community.
Officials say Cummins had an inappropriate relationship with the vulnerable teen and believed he groomed her. A troubling pattern of behavior suggests he planned the alleged abduction before they vanished on Monday. It's been more than 5 days and no credible sightings.
Bring her back or allow her to call and let us know that she's okay.
The Murray County Sheriff says the effort to find her reaches across the country, but it starts in this quiet community as those close to her beg for a peaceful ending.
We are going to get her back.
Very sad situation there. Well, the TBI says they've gotten about 250 tips from 24 states, but with no credible sightings and with time growing, of course, police believe Thomas and Cummins could be anywhere. Developing now to this story, police identify the man that was shot and killed by security forces at Paris's Orly Airport. Now, we first told you about this as breaking news yesterday morning. The man, identified as a 39-year-old radicalized Muslim, tried to seize a soldier's gun yesterday at the airport. The man was already on the radar of police and intelligence services. Earlier, he had shot and wounded a police officer with an air gun. As a matter of fact, after a routine traffic stop. We know that the police source tells us that they identified the man only as Zayed B and said He was known to the police for theft and drug offenses, and according to judicial sources, the man's father and brother were also taken into police custody. Now, going a little bit further into this, around 3,000 people were evacuated from the Orly airport yesterday. A witness said the attacker was holding a female soldier by the neck and actually grabbed her gun. We know flights were suspended, with some being diverted to Charles de Gaulle Airport. Now, the airport shooting, as many of you know, comes as Prince William and his wife Kate are currently visiting the country. They're in Paris to commemorate the anniversary of Princess Diana's death. Security in the country has been at a high level since the November 2015 terror attacks. All right, new this morning, the driver of a car is killed after an officer-involved shooting in Atlanta, Georgia. The shooting happened outside a piano bar in College Park. Police say they saw a car fleeing the scene after running someone over yesterday morning. A police officer and security guard shot at the vehicle. It crashed and flipped over, and the driver died later at the hospital.
It was in the gentleman's club across the street, and we heard that it was a shootout at the piano bar. So we had walked out, to see what's going on, and they said it was 3 people got shot, 1 got killed.
There's no official word about the other 3 people reported to have been shot, as a matter of fact, but the case has been turned over to the State Bureau of Investigations. Breaking overnight, the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office says a deputy is now dead after being shot and killed last night. The deputy's name has not been released. Investigators said a suspect was also shot and is currently in the hospital this morning. Investigators say the shooting happened at a barber shop in a strip mall near Interstate 12. Well, on to politics now. President Trump continues his fight to get Republicans to pass the American Health Care Act, which is designed to replace Obamacare. But we know that it has been a tough sell so far, and the coming week will definitely be critical. CBS 42 national correspondent Chance Seals takes a closer look at the week ahead.
I want everyone to know I'm 100% behind this.
President Trump went all in on the American Health Care Act while hosting Republicans at the White House who have been on the fence.
I want everybody to know that the press has not been speaking properly about how great this is going to be.
Across town at the Capitol, some Republicans heading into a health care meeting Friday said it all by not saying much.
Can you stop for a second? No, I need to get in there.
Now that Speaker Paul Ryan's bill has passed 3 crucial committees, it heads to the House floor for a full vote on Thursday. Some Republicans, though, are still skeptical about specifics.
We've got to have a path to the kind of affordability for the next decades that we currently don't have.
Even if it does pass the House, Senate Leader Mitch McConnell says expect major tweaks, which may rile the White House.
It'll be open to amendment in the Senate.
The bill needs at least 50 votes to pass in the Senate, but so many Republicans have already defected that leaders acknowledge it can't survive in its current form. Reporting in Washington, I'm national correspondent Chance Seals.
New this morning, a community celebration is set for next month to mark the recent establishment of the Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument. Now, the dedication event is being organized by the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, the City of Birmingham, the National Park Service, and the National Trust for Historic Preservation. The dedication will be Saturday, April 15th, and the event is free and open to the public. Happening today, it's the 2017 Birmingham Jefferson County Transit Authority's Bus and Maintenance Rodeo. Operators and maintenance teams will race against the clock while maintaining safety standards. It helps public transportation become safer and more reliable, which we all want, right? Winners will represent Alabama in the International Rodeo in Nevada in May. Today's race starts at 8 o'clock at the maintenance facility. All right, well, your time right now, it is 5:39. After the break, having an exotic pet sounds so great, right? But what happens when you want to get rid of it? Well, coming up, the city that's now giving you the chance to turn in your pet, no questions asked. We're going there in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Live look at the White House as we wake you up on this Sunday morning. We'll be right back.
Good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. Storm Track meteorologist Michael Smith along with Alex Finney. Thank you for joining us. Live look outside across the Magic City. Clear and noticeably cooler. Cold fronts come through, and we've got a very light northerly wind, anywhere from about 3 miles per hour to 8 miles an hour. Moody checking in at 35, Birmingham 45, Coleman, good morning to you. It's 39. 41 Hamilton, Tuscaloosa is at 42, Talladega at 43. Storm Track radar is quiet. Hour by hour forecast. Once the sun comes up, right around 6:57, temperatures going to kind of hang out in the mid to upper 40s until about 10 o'clock this morning, and then we're going to crack the 50-degree mark. 12 o'clock this afternoon, mid to upper 50s, not done climbing. High temperatures today right around 65, and that should occur between 3 and 4. Okay, if you want it warmer, consider it done. Tuesday, high temperatures in the lower 80s. Rain's back in the forecast. Wednesday, showers and storms expected next Saturday. All right, sometimes we all sign up for things that, in the long run, turn out not to be the best idea. Ain't that the truth? An exotic animal is a pet sometimes that people consider perfect. However, sometimes those pets just aren't a good idea, and it was good news for people living in the Magic City, the other Magic City, Miami. Zoo Miami held a special exotic pet amnesty day that took place yesterday. It gave people a chance to safely surrender their animals they simply can't care for with no questions asked. The event is put on by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Absolutely. And you know what? I don't know. Exotic pets, love looking at them, but when it comes to making them actually a pet in my home, not sure about that.
And in South Florida, there are a lot of exotic pets, and people think they would make for a good pet.
Yeah.
Not the case always. So that's a good piece of news.
Yeah. Good to know that you could just give it back, no questions asked. Case closed, you're done. Well, you know what? Speaking of safety, Hoover teens, well, they're getting the chance to become safe drivers, which we all like seeing on the road. Look at this. A street survival school took place yesterday at the Hoover Met, and it's called TireRack.com. It set up a course in the parking lot and exposed teens to real-life situations that can happen when driving. And the school is touring the country to help reduce the number of teen crash deaths. Very important there. All right, in health news this morning, doctors may have an effective tool for treating early-stage lung cancer in older patients. Researchers at Emory University studied patients in their 80s and 90s who cannot undergo surgery. Well, they found using a highly targeted radiation therapy limits the spread of cancer with a low rate of side effects. And sticking with some health this morning, a new study warns about the epidemic of loud noise. Research at Brigham and Women's Hospital found 58 million Americans are frequently exposed to loud noises both at work and at home. And that exposure can lead to hearing loss and health conditions, including cardiovascular disease and diabetes. All right, this is a good one. Just because a product says low fat or low sugar doesn't always mean that it's healthier. All right. Well, researchers in North Carolina looked at 80 million purchases and say you should be cautious when labels say low, right? Because there are no standards on exactly what low really means. All right. All in moderation, right? That's the best tool. Having children, get this, may lead to a longer life. A new study in Sweden followed more than 1 million people and found that being a parent may extend life expectancy for seniors by as much as 2 years. Researchers say a child's support is navigating the health system may be part of the reason. All right, well, good to know. Today is the start of National Poison Prevention Awareness Week, and the Alabama Veterinary Medical Association wants to remind pet owners specifically that pets are in danger and you should check your home for any toxins that your pets could have access to. Common threats include, of course, chocolate, grapes, poisons and medicine. So some good advice there, some good tools. So keep all of that in mind for all of our pet lovers this morning. All right, your time right now. It is 5:47, and after the break, we have new information after a threat outside a busy Paris airport. We have been following this all weekend long, and still to come, what police are now saying about the man who was killed.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Upsets galore in the NCAA tournament. We'll give you those latest highlights, plus Alabama and Auburn open up SEC play. That and more coming up in sports.
Chris Rakel, thank you so much. We will see you in just a few minutes. And to all of our viewers, we'll see you back here. Don't move. We'll be right back. Much more right after the break.
Well, so far the NCAA tournament hasn't given many surprises, but that changed yesterday. A day of high drama. It even really took a toll on one young Northwestern fan. You can look online for that one, but this is the big upset of the day. Number 1 Villanova against number 8 Wisconsin. Game down to the wire. Nigel Hayes working the baseline, reverse layup, buckets and brackets busted. Wisconsin takes down number 1 Villanova 65-62. The 3 seed Florida State taking on the 11 seed Xavier. Second half, check out Tyreek Jones. Boom! Throws it down with 2 hands. Xavier dominates the Seminoles 91-66. Well, SEC opening weekend for the boys of the Diamond this weekend. Alabama and Auburn were hoping to start things off on the right foot. Auburn got a win yesterday, and Bama still looking for that first conference win against Missouri. So Bama baseball game 2 against the Tigers. And Missouri up 2-1 in the 4th when Connor Brumfield drops in to squeeze. Dylan Duarte just can't find the bunt, and the Tigers score. Bama would keep it close. Kyle Kaufman singles up the middle to score Cody Henry and make it 4-3 Missouri. But then the Tigers, however, took advantage of Alabama's mistakes in the 6th. Robbie Glendenning's pop-up drops into the outfield to score a run. Mizzou wins game 2, 7-4.
I was really, really pleased at how our guys, they didn't give up. They didn't quit. And that's what I told them. Baseball's a lot like life. It's going to, challenge you. It's going to trial you. And the tough guys are the ones that get through it.
Auburn hosting Florida. Daniel Robert goes a long way. Check it out. All the way into foul territory. Loses his hat. Makes the catch. There you go. And good out there. And Auburn was up and later adding to the lead. Here's Luke Jarvis down the line. That's going to bring in another run. The Tigers take it against Florida 2-1. Well, the SEC season of gymnastics came to a close. Not the season that Alabama and Auburn were hoping for on the mats, but in Jacksonville, anything could happen on the final day of competition. Alabama's Kiana Winston ties for the title on the bar with a 9.95. She places third in the all-around. In the end, though, it would not be Alabama taking home the championship. LSU wins the SEC, and a very excited bunch they were. So here are the final results from Jacksonville. LSU takes home the title. Of course, Florida in second, Alabama finishes third, and Auburn in a distant sixth. So funny moment on the links yesterday. Gators, no stranger to the golf course. Smiley Kaufman forgot about that. Smiley wasn't smiling when he didn't see old Mr. Gator getting some golf and some sun there. Thankfully, he didn't step on him, or else this story might have been a little bit darker. That's going to do it for sports. Let's send it back over to you, Alex.
All right, Chris Wrinkle, thank you so much. Got to watch out for those Gators. Your time right now, it is 5:53. And after the break, I know this is the question that's on your minds this Sunday morning. Will the weather be nice for your Sunday afternoon and for the rest of your week? We all know that answer. Storm Check meteorologist Michael Smith is back in a few minutes with much more on your forecast. We'll be right back.
Good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. A live look outside across the Magic City. Clear and cooler. 43 right now in Birmingham. We've got a very light northerly wind, anywhere from 3 to around 7 miles an hour. So that filters in the cooler and drier air. 39 right now. Good morning to you, Coleman. 35 Moody. Gadsden checks in at 44. It's 41 in Hamilton. Tuscaloosa is also at 44. Alabaster at 46. Clanton, good morning to you. 40 right now in Peach Country. All right, Storm Track radar. The sweeps are coming back clean. Let's talk about the hour-by-hour forecast with our Storm Track Futurecast clouds, radar, and temperature. 6 o'clock, still hanging out in the upper 30s, lower 40s. Later this afternoon, a few clouds across west central Alabama. Temperatures in the upper 60s, mid to upper 60s. The clouds are back at us Monday morning. with temperatures in the 50s. And then Monday afternoon, temperatures climb into the 60s. Tuesday morning, look at this, 62 in Birmingham, so a mild start. A very warm finish on Tuesday with high temperatures in the lower 80s. Out on the lakes today, mostly sunny and cooler, a north wind at 5, temperatures in the 60s, low to mid 60s. Allergy report real quick, look at that. Trees are the culprit for sneezing and sniffles and watery eyes. Grass count is low. Storm Track 7-day forecast. Spring starts tomorrow. High temperatures Tuesday in the lower 80s. The rain is back Wednesday. Showers and storms on Saturday. The CBS 42 Morning News will be right back after this. Good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. I'm Storm Track meteorologist Michael Smith. A little cool as we kick it off this morning with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. A lot of sunshine this afternoon, high temperatures in the mid 60s. The CBS 42 Morning News starts right now.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome, everyone. Breaking overnight, another security alert at the White House. Secret Service says they detained a man who drove up to the White House checkpoint. This happened late last night and claimed to have a bomb inside his car. Now, at this time, several streets around the White House are currently closed as Secret Service investigates. This is the third security breach in 8 days. Also breaking overnight, an East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy is dead this morning after a shooting. Investigators say the suspect was also shot and is now in the hospital. That shooting happened during an investigation at a barber shop in Baton Rouge. Mayor Sharon Weston Broome called the shooting a tragedy for the community. Well, on that note, good morning, everyone. I'm Alex Finney. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a whole lot to get to. First, breaking overnight, one person is dead and another is recovering after a house fire, and this happened in North Birmingham. Details now. Birmingham fire crews were called to the 1300 block of 16th Street North around 9:30 last night. They were told someone was trapped inside. Now, Assistant Fire Chief Buddy Wilkes says crews were met with heavy flames. They were able to enter the back of the house, but were forced back out as a result of this fire. And Wilkes says it was a very difficult call because someone was trapped inside.
Well, that's the hardest part of our job is when we have to respond to a house when we have confirmation that somebody is in the house. Our crews will extend themselves usually beyond what the normal risk that we would take to try to make a rescue.
All right, another person inside escaped that fire, and they were taken to UAB Hospital to be treated for burns. Now, right now, we are working to learn more. We are working to learn their condition at this time. So stay with us throughout the show. We're continuing to gather details. We'll let you know as soon as we know something. New this morning, Brighton police are investigating a deadly shooting there. Police tell us a man was shot around 6:30 yesterday evening on Clay Street. He was rushed to UAB Hospital, but unfortunately he later died. We are currently working to learn more details about this case as well, and we of course are going to keep you updated, so stay with us throughout the show. Covering Birmingham this morning, investigators are looking into a double homicide after bodies are discovered inside a home, and this happened late Friday night. Now, Birmingham police say 35-year-old Quinchez Spradley and 45-year-old Twalis McClendon were found inside a home on 69th Place North. Both victims we know were shot. Neighbors say McClendon lived at the home for more than a decade, and police aren't sure if he and Spradley actually knew each other, but we do know that neighbors tell us they really don't feel safe there anymore.
It's not a video game. You don't wake up tomorrow and say, okay, I'll see you tomorrow, I'll shoot you again. You know, you dead, you dead. They don't understand that. I mean, like I said, I lived in a war zone, and they making this feel like a war zone.
People say they want to see more officers patrolling the neighborhood, and right now, police say they don't believe the deaths are a random act. If you know anything about this case, please call Crime Stoppers, and their number is 254-7777. Right now, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency needs your help finding a missing girl. 14-year-old Ruby Ann Webb was last seen in Gunnersville on Friday. She's 5 feet 6 inches and weighs about 180 pounds. We also know that she has green eyes and brown hair. So if you know anything, if you've seen Ruby, please call the Gunnersville Police Department or 911. Developing now, French prosecutors say a man shot to death at Paris's Orly Airport used a 9mm revolver to take hold of that soldier. Now, officers say the man, 39-year-old Zayed Ben Belgassem, was born in France and was a radicalized Muslim on the radar of police and intelligence services. Now, Belgassem was killed after soldiers opened fire on him right there at the airport, and prosecutors say his cousin is also in custody after turning himself into police.
All right, good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. A live look. Gadsden, clear and noticeably cooler this morning. We've got a very light northerly wind, anywhere from 3 to 7 miles an hour. It's 43 in Gadsden. Good morning to you. 38 in Center. Anniston checks in at 40. Birmingham 43. T-Town, a pair of 4s on the thermometer. 41 Double Springs. Hamilton, good morning to you. 42 Clanton, down to 38. Storm track radar, the sweep comes back clean. I want to touch on the drought situation. Here's a look at the latest drought monitor. We are chipping away at it slowly but surely. Parts of the metro area still underneath what's considered extreme drought. To the south we go. Clanton, just abnormal conditions, so definitely continuing to improve with the drought situation. All right, Storm Track Futurecast, clouds, radar, temperatures, 6 o'clock this morning. Most of us in the 30s and 40s. We'll get into the mid-60s, 4 o'clock this afternoon. A few clouds across west central Alabama. Overall, a good-looking day. Tomorrow morning, the clouds are back, so a cloudy start to our Monday. And then tomorrow afternoon, temperatures top out in the mid-70s. I want to show you Tuesday. High temperatures in the low 80s. So spring officially arrives tomorrow. It's going to feel more like summer Tuesday with those temperatures in the lower 80s. Hour by hour forecast. Through the afternoon, we'll keep on climbing to at least 65 by 4. Storm Track 7-day forecast. Again, spring starts tomorrow. It's going to feel like summer, the beginning of summer, I should say, Tuesday. Showers are back in the picture Wednesday. Look at the drop with those temperatures. Highs in the low 80s Tuesday. Wednesday, we're back into the upper 60s. A chance of showers that will continue Thursday into Friday, and then showers and storms in the forecast Saturday with high temperatures at that point in the mid-70s. Alex.
Right, it's going to feel like summer, Michael. Music to my ears. All right, going over to this, everyone. New this morning, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says the U.S. is looking forward to the first meeting between President Trump and his Chinese counterpart. Now, Tillerson says Trump places a, quote, very high value on communications with the Chinese president through calls and exchanges of letters. Now, President Trump and the Chinese president are expected to meet in Florida next month. White House counselor Kellyanne Conway could see a familiar face join the president's staff pretty soon. Her husband, George Conway, is expected to be picked to run the Justice Department Civil Division. Now that means he would handle major legal challenges to President Trump's initiatives, including his controversial travel ban. Well, meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence spent Saturday in Florida promoting the new American Health Care Act. Now, the bill has cleared 2 House committees, but it's still receiving backlash from both sides of the aisle. The bill would repeal and replace much of the Affordable Care Act. We also know that it would kill tax penalties for people who don't buy insurance, and also it will stop Medicaid expansion.
That's why we're going to end this flaw. We're going to replace it with real solutions built on freedom, personal responsibility, and state flexibility and reform. That's what works, and that's what President Trump's plan for health care reform will do for the American people.
President Trump defends his meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. He tweeted, in part, despite what you've heard from the fake news, I had a great meeting with Merkel. The president's comments, we know, follow a meeting that some media outlets are calling awkward. The 2 leaders did not shake hands for pictures, as we know is customary. And the president also brought the chancellor into the ongoing controversy over his unproven claims President Obama wiretapped Trump Tower.
As far as wiretapping, I guess, by this past administration, at least we have something in common, perhaps.
Well, the president was referring to alleged surveillance of the chancellor's cell phone by the National Security Agency under the Obama administration, revealed by WikiLeaks. New this morning, people living in apartments damaged by a massive fire in Raleigh, North Carolina, will have a second chance to retrieve items from their homes today. Last week's fire destroyed an under-construction building and damaged several surrounding buildings in downtown. The ATF estimates the loss of the building at more than $12 million. Well, people were able to get a first-hand look at the damage yesterday morning, and more than 250 people were escorted to their units while trying to pick up the pieces after Thursday's fire. People were told to grab what they could carry, and while others were finally able to move their cars from the area.
Kind of a freak thing. We chose not to get a place at the beach so we didn't have to worry about any kind of damage or hurricanes and stuff, and got a condo in Raleigh and ended up with this.
People with apartments facing away from the fire say they may be able to return in about 3 weeks to a month. Now, while others with more extensive damage, they got the news that they may not be able to return home for at least 6 months. All right, well, your time right now. It is 6:10 this morning. Parents and students come together to put an end to cyberbullying at one Texas high school. Next, the important message from one parent who lost his daughter to bullying.
Good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. A live look outside. Good morning to you, Gadsden. Sun up in about 50 minutes. Clear and cool as we kick it off this Sunday morning. I've got your forecast right after this. Good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. Storm Track meteorologist Michael Smith along with Alex Finney. Got your forecast. Alex will catch you up on the latest news headlines, a live look outside. Sun up at 6:57. So we're checking out Birmingham, a good looking start. We've got cooler and drier breeze cutting across central Alabama, a north wind anywhere from 3 to 7 miles an hour. So temperatures have dipped into the 40s and 30s. It's 43 right now in Birmingham, 39 in Coleman, 38 Clanton. Our average low for this time of year, 44. Storm Track radar, the sweep comes back clean. Let's talk about the forecast hour by hour with our Storm Track Futurecast clouds, radar, and temperature. A clear start this morning as we head into the afternoon hours. A few clouds across west central Alabama. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Area wide. It's going to be a good looking Sunday. Monday, the clouds are back. Temperatures 8 o'clock in the morning in the low to mid 50s. We'll climb into the 70s Monday afternoon. And Tuesday morning starts out in the 60s. High temperatures will top out in the lower 80s. Hour by hour forecast for today. Tons of sun. High temperatures right around 65. Spring arrives tomorrow, and then we've got those 80s on tap for Tuesday afternoon. Showers are back Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday. Showers and storms likely next Saturday. Okay, it's up, and away again for United Launch Alliance's Delta IV rocket. It blasted from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station Saturday with the 9th Wideband Global SATCOM Commission for the U.S. Air Force. It's the 35th launch of the Delta IV rocket since its first launch back in 2002. The WGS-9 will provide enhanced communication capabilities for troops in the field. Up, and away. Successful launch.
All right. And you know what? Away we go to this story. New this morning, students in one Texas town are wrapping up spring break with a rally to stop cyberbullying. Students, teachers, and families of cyberbullying victims all gathered at Lamarck High School for the rally. We know several parents of students who committed suicide after being bullied online were part of this event, and the families say they want to raise awareness about the dangers of cyberbullying. They're also lobbying for change in the legislature.
When somebody takes their life or somebody ends their life, I feel like it's still, that person should be charged with murder, you know, and unfortunately right now harassment and bullying doesn't carry much of a charge.
Right now, Senate Bill 179 and House Bill 306 are under consideration in the Texas legislature. David's Law would offer protection for cyberbullying victims and make cyberbullying a misdemeanor crime. Well, we know that it's been almost 4 months since wildfires ripped through Sevier County in East Tennessee. Well, now recovery efforts are underway and one big attraction is opening its doors again. Can you guess what it is? Oh yeah, it's Dollywood. They're kicking off this year. And as a matter of fact, it's about to be a very family fun weekend. Right now, the theme park is open for the Festival of Nations and International Friendship Festival as well. Guests can experience cultures from around the world, and of course, you get a taste from those cultures as well. Good food. And that's not the only exciting fun coming to Dollywood in 2017. There's a whole lot more as well. All right, covering Birmingham now. The city stops to honor the memory of a local civil rights icon. Take a listen.
We shall overcome.
The Birmingham chapter of the NAACP gathered at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute for a wreath laying in honor of Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth. He led the fight for equal rights in Birmingham in the 1960s and co-founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. People at the BCRI wanted to honor Shuttlesworth's life and his work in the fight for civil rights through the event.
We're reminded of how so many other people were able to persevere when it seems like things were so insurmountable, and it gives us hope that we can do it.
Reverend Shuttlesworth died in 2011 at the age of 95. All right, your time right now, it is 6:18, and I have a question for you. Do you know how to make sure a leak isn't driving up your water bills? Well, you might have an answer to help you out with that. Still ahead, how Birmingham Waterworks crews plan to help people cut down on their costs. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News. Much more right after the break. Stay with us.
The month of March is the perfect time of year to buy Alabama's best. Now I'm here with Betsy McAtee. She's with Dreamland Barbecue. We're going to talk about that, but first you're going to show us how to make a really easy and delicious quesadilla.
Absolutely. We're going to just assemble it and then we'll throw it on the griddle to cook it. But what we're going to start off with is a little Mexican blended cheese here. We're going to just sprinkle it all over liberally. I love a lot of cheese.
That. Yes.
You know. You can use any cheese. This is the Mexican blend, so it's got a little bit of Monterey Jack and a little cheddar. And then to that, we're going to add some chopped pork. Now, we got this chopped pork. You can order this online. It's sold at dreamlandbbq.com, or you can buy it in the restaurants. And we've mixed some of this chopped pork with some Dreamland barbecue sauce.
And I love that it's already pre-cooked. So you can take this with you if you're going to the beach or the lake, and you don't have to worry about, you know, smoking it up in that Dreamland way.
It's already fully cooked. All we did was reheat it and added some barbecue sauce to it to get the great Dreamland flavor. And to that, we will now add some green onions, some chopped green onion here, just you know, as much or as little as you like. And then cilantro. Now I love cilantro, so I use a lot of cilantro. It's so pretty and green. I just love the flavor of cilantro. And then we put the top to it, and we're going to slide this on our griddle and brown it up on each side, and then it'll be ready to serve.
And so how do you know when the perfect time is to flip it?
Well, I have to peek under the tent a little bit and make sure it's got a nice golden brown. Some people like theirs cooked a little more than others. I like that golden crisp brown. Usually about a minute and a half a side, and then you flip it over and then get the other side.
And so when you're in the grocery stores this month, make sure you look for those Buy Alabama's Best signage around, right?
Right.
And why is this so important?
Well, Buy Alabama's Best is a partnership between the Alabama Department of Industries and Agriculture and the Alabama Grocers Association to promote products, food products that are made in the state of Alabama.
I love that. We love local. And then it's some of the proceeds
during the month of March, that when customers come into the grocery stores and buy these products, go back to Children's of Alabama.
We love that. Okay, so that is such an excuse to go to the grocery store, buy your Alabama products, and make something as easy as this delicious quesadilla. So easy to assemble, so good. And when you got that Dreamland barbecue sauce and the Dreamland barbecue pork, you know it's going to be a crowd pleaser. I'm Lillian Lalo with CBS 42 Community.
The preceding portion of the CBS 42 Morning News was sponsored by Dreamland Barbecue.
Here we are. Let me move my drink, shall I? My water. Got to stay hydrated. Okay, let's get a look. Speaking of hydration, the rain. I don't know, Michael, what's going on in the forecast? You're the guru. Let us know. Ba-da-bump.
Ba-da-bump. The rain is out. The sunshine is on its way up.
Let's sing through the forecast.
Let's do it, Alex, on this Sunday morning. A live look outside. Sun up at 6. What is it this morning? 6:54. All right, so a good looking start. It is noticeably cooler. Cold front has moved through, and the wind behind that cold front coming in from the north, it's fairly light, anywhere from 3 to 7 miles an hour, but ushering in the cooler and the drier air. On the thermometer right now, 43. Good morning to you, Birmingham. 43, Fayette. Elsewhere, we've got a pair of 4s for you in Tuscaloosa. 42, Hamilton. Our average low for this time of year is 44. It's 38 right now in Coleman. All right, storm track radar. The sweep comes back clean this morning. Let's talk about the drought situation. Yep, we're still dealing with it. It is improving, chipping away at it. Each rain event, slowly but surely. So parts of Jefferson County and Shelby County still underneath what we consider extreme drought. Elsewhere from Gadsden, Anniston, Logan Martin Lake, the drought is severe, so improving. And down around Clanton, abnormal drought conditions. So there you go. Speaking of lakes and the water, if you're going to be out on the lakes today, a lot of sunshine, temperatures in the low to mid 60s with that north wind pretty light at around 5 miles an hour. Let's talk about our Storm Track Futurecast, clouds and radar and temperature as we head through the morning. Out of the 30s and 40s into the low and mid 60s by 4 o'clock this afternoon. Some clouds across west central Alabama. So a good looking Sunday. And then as we head into the overnight hours, the clouds come back at us. Not really any rain in the picture, but plenty of clouds as we kick off our Monday morning. Temperatures in the 50s. And then decreasing clouds for the afternoon, northwest to southeast as we climb into the low and mid 70s. All right, Tuesday morning starts off pretty mild in the low 60s. It's going to be downright warm Tuesday afternoon, 4 o'clock, most of us in the lower 80s. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast as we jump into the afternoon. Going to top out right around 65 between 3 and 4. Our average high for this time of year is 67. Spring arrives on Monday, and then we've got the rain back Wednesday through next Saturday with temperatures ranging from the 70s, 80s, back down into the low 70s on Friday. Alex.
Michael, thank you. Everybody, your time right now, it is 6:27. We still have a whole lot to get to. We have a whole half hour, so don't go anywhere. After the break, though, we are taking a turn to this story. Family and friends plead for a missing girl's safe return in Tennessee. After the break, the vigil for Elizabeth Thomas as a nationwide Amber Alert continues. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News. That story and much more right after the break.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. It is 6:30 on the dot. Oh, Michael, I hit your mouse. I
It's
hope I
okay.
didn't ruin anything in the weather system. I'm good?
Yeah, you're
All right,
good.
all clear. And on that note, leads me right into what I was going to say. Let's go to Storm Track meteorologist Michael Smith for a look at that Sunday forecast.
All right, let's do it. Let's take
Yeah.
a live look at this outside
Yeah,
together.
it's a beautiful shot.
Oh la la, right? Sun up at 6:53. Cold front has moved through. So drier, cooler air as we kick off our Sunday morning. 43 right now in Birmingham. Behind the front, we've got a very light north wind at around 3 to 7 miles an hour. So that's bringing in the drier, cooler, more comfortable air. High pressure in control right now. There's the cold front cutting across lower Alabama and the panhandle of Florida. So high and dry as we round out our weekend. Storm track radar, the sweep comes back clean. Temperatures front and center this morning with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. 38, good morning to you, and Coleman 43, Birmingham, Jaspers at 42, 44, and Tuscaloosa, Talladega at 43. So 30s and 40s as we kick it off with our Storm Track Futurecast clouds and radar. A few more clouds around later this afternoon across west central Alabama. High temperatures today in the mid 60s, and then overnight into tomorrow morning the clouds thicken up for the first part of the day, then starting to clear out from west to east. High temperatures in the mid 70s. All right, Tuesday morning at 3 o'clock. Temperatures in the 60s. It's going to be a very warm Tuesday afternoon with high temperatures in the lower 80s. I've got much more for you, including my Storm Track 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Alex?
All right, Michael, thank you. Breaking overnight, 3 people are dead after a shooting in New Orleans East. Now police say the victims are 2 men and a woman. All 3 were found in the kitchen of a home in the area, and police believe there was no forced entry into the home. Now investigators are working to determine a motive and name possible suspects. The search for 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas continues with a nationwide Amber Alert for Thomas and her former teacher, 50-year-old Tad Cummins. Family and friends of the missing teen held a prayer vigil to plead for her safe return. Cummins is accused of using his role as teacher to lure and potentially sexually exploit Thomas. Authorities believe Thomas is in imminent danger right now, and Cummins may be armed. Now, law enforcement, close friends, and Thomas's father are all calling for Cummins to surrender and bring Thomas home.
He stole my daughter from me. He didn't just steal from me, he stole from the Murray County community.
TBI officials say they've received around 250 tips from 24 states, but no credible sightings have been reported. Authorities say with the length of time Thomas has been missing, the 2 really at this point could be anywhere. All right, happening this week, the Birmingham Waterworks Board is declaring this week Fix a Leak Week 2017. Now here's the information. The board says the #1 cause of those high water bills that I know we all detest is an undetected household leak. Nearly 1 trillion gallons of water is wasted each year in America because of leaks in or around our home.
Just a quick tip on that: if you go out to the meter, if the dial is spinning, you have everything off inside the home, that's a strong indication that you do have a leak on the property. If you turn everything off, the dial should be standing still. So we want to encourage customers to do that.
All right, well, good information there. Waterworks crews will be handing out free toilet flappers and literature to customers. Now, Jackson says faulty toilets are the biggest issue they see. Very good information. I think we can all save a little bit of money. All right, covering Birmingham now, we're going to go to some startling video. Damage cleanup took place at Dick's Sporting Goods on Highway 280 after a car hits the building. We know it happened around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Take a look at that. Birmingham police tell us a woman in her 60s crashed through that window, and luckily no one was hurt in that crash. The driver was taken to the hospital for evaluation, and right now the crash is under investigation. And also take a look at this damage left behind on the West Coast. Workers spent Saturday morning trying to cover a gaping hole in the side of a Fontana, California home. Police say a drunk driver drove into the wall after losing control and hitting a curb. The impact pushed the bed into the kitchen and the stove into the living room.
I hope this changes people's point of view and perspective on drinking and driving.
All right, well, a couple was sleeping in the bedroom when the truck hit the house. They were both rushed to the hospital, but are expected to be okay. Now, no one else was hurt in that crash, and the driver was arrested for driving under the influence. New this morning, trustees will be voting on a new president for Auburn University this week. Board members will hold a special meeting tomorrow morning to name a new president, and the board is looking for a successor to Jay Gogue. Now, who plans to retire this summer, as a matter of fact? A 14-member search committee began looking for a new president after he announced his plans back in September. Gogue has served as university president since 2007. He's also an Auburn graduate. Covering South Alabama this morning, authorities say a body pulled from the Alabama River in Baldwin County may be that of a woman reported missing from Washington County last month. Now, the remains were found near Dixie Landing, about 20 miles downstream from where the woman's car was found. It was submerged in Clark Lake. Now, the sheriff says, based on the description of the woman's clothes, they believe the remains belong to Anita Bowman. Forensics investigators are working to make a positive ID at this time. Investigators pinged Bowman's cell phone, and that is what led them to the landing that's in Clark County. Now, the phone was found inside the car along with her purse. Happening now, President Trump is trying to muscle Republicans into passing the American Health Care Act. Of course, a lot of people know at this point that is poised to replace Obamacare. It's been a tough sell so far, and the coming week will be critical. CBS 42 national correspondent Chance Seals takes a closer look at the week ahead.
I want everyone to know I'm 100% behind this.
President Trump went all in on the American Health Care Act while hosting Republicans at the White House who have been on the fence.
I want everybody to know that the press has not been speaking properly about how great this is going to be.
Across town at the Capitol, some Republicans heading into a health care meeting Friday said it all by not saying much.
Can you stop for a second?
No, I need to get in there.
Now that Speaker Paul Ryan's bill has passed 3 crucial committees, it heads to the House floor for a full vote on Thursday. Some Republicans, though, are still skeptical about specifics.
We've got to have a path to the kind of affordability for the next decades that we currently don't have.
Even if it does pass the House, Senate Leader Mitch McConnell says expect major tweaks, which may rile the White House.
It'll be open to amendment in the Senate.
The bill needs at least 50 votes to pass in the Senate, but so many Republicans have already defected that leaders acknowledge it can't survive in its current form. Reporting in Washington, I'm national correspondent Chance Seals.
All right, Chance Seals, thank you so much. Happening this week, Russia will be in the spotlight in Washington. The U.S. House Intelligence Committee holds its first public hearing on allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 election tomorrow. FBI Director James Comey is expected to testify along with current and former U.S. intelligence officials. Trump's pick for the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, will also undergo his first confirmation hearings in the Senate tomorrow. New this morning, police say the driver of a car is dead after an officer-involved shooting near Atlanta. Now, here are the details. Officers say they saw a car fleeing the scene after running someone over Saturday morning. It happened outside a piano bar in College Park. An officer and a security guard shot at the fleeing vehicle. We know it then crashed and flipped over a short distance away. The driver died at the hospital.
It was in the gentleman's club across the street, and we heard that it was a shootout at the piano bar. So we had walked out, to see what's going on, and they said it was 3 people got shot, 1 got killed.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigations is looking into the case. New this morning, Mississippi's only abortion clinic will stay open after a federal district court ruling. Now, the court blocked a law that would have shut down the Jackson Women's Health Organization clinic. Now, House Bill 1390 required any physician associated with an abortion facility to have admitting privileges at a local hospital. Texas had a similar law that the Supreme Court struck down less than a year ago. All right, turning our attention now to this story. Last week, we told you about 3 women in Donavant, Alabama, who found a balloon belonging to the family of a little boy who recently passed away. Arlie Garner did this story. Well, yesterday, those women sent a balloon and some cards and gifts to the family of Cooper Hodges in North Alabama. But listen to this. There's a twist to this story. They originally thought the balloon had come from South Carolina, where Cooper Finley's family actually lives. They also sent cards and gifts to his family and even donated $100 to the Finley's American Heart Association walk. All right, well, your time right now. It is 6:40 this morning, and after the break, a new product. Guess what? It could make your grocery shopping a whole lot easier. Yeah, imagine being able to get your groceries from the comfort of your couch and not leaving at all. We have details coming up. The robot that could help you possibly do just that.
I'm in. Can't wait. All right, good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. A live look outside. Sun up at 6:53. It's a cool start. I've got your forecast right after this. Good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. A live look outside. Sun up at 6:53. A clear, cool start with temperatures in the 40s and a few spots are in the 30s. Storm track radar nice and quiet. Let's check out the numbers. There we go, 35. Good morning to you, Moody. It's 38 in Center, 40 Cleveland. 38 right now, Coleman. Double Springs checks in at 40, 44 in Tuscaloosa. Our average low for this time of year is 44, so we're a little below the mark in some locales. Out on the lakes today, a lot of sunshine, cooler, a north breeze at around 5 miles an hour. Air temperature in the low to mid 60s later on this afternoon. All right, hour by hour forecast. We'll get out of the 30s and 40s into the low 50s by 10 o'clock this morning. Not warm enough for you? Okay, I'll press the button and show you the hour by hour forecast for the afternoon hours. Between 3 and 4, we'll top out in the low to mid 60s. Our average high for this time of year right around 67. And if you want it even warmer, okay, consider it done. Tuesday, high temperatures in the low 80s. Spring actually starts tomorrow, PS. So we're going to jump into the low 80s on Tuesday, then drop down into the 60s Wednesday and Thursday with A chance of rain both days, and then a chance of showers and storms on Saturday with high temperatures at that point in the mid-70s. Alex.
Looking good. Michael, thank you so much. All right, to some sad news now coming out of the entertainment world. Music fans around the world are saying goodbye to rock and roll legend Chuck Berry. Police say the 90-year-old was found unresponsive at a home in St. Charles County, Missouri yesterday. Berry was behind a series of rock and blues classics, including Johnny B. Good, Roll Over Beethoven, and Sweet Little 16. He was inducted into both the Rock and Roll and Blues Halls of Fame. He will definitely be missed. All right, now, on another note, new this morning, guess what? You can call it a perfect shopping partner. Doesn't talk, doesn't get on your nerves, and that's because it's a robot. Gita is designed to carry your groceries and other items from a store, and the robot can haul up to 40 pounds, and it links up, as a matter of fact, to a device on your belt. And Gita should also be able to go on its own and pick up your merchandise while you stay at home on the couch doing whatever you're doing. And the robot is developed by a Boston startup run up by the Italian company that makes Vespa scooters. It's expected to go into production next year, making shopping a whole lot easier, huh? All right, right now, two young entrepreneurs named Summer and Grace open up a lemonade stand, and it's all for a good cause. They were raising money to give to the Alabaster Fire Department to help save Engine 1. The department has been trying to raise money to restore the antique fire truck for several months through a GoFundMe. They're also still looking for corporate sponsors, but in the meantime, look at these kind-hearted, sweet little girls right here. They were able to raise $163. That will all go towards that cause. All right, some little entrepreneurs there, huh? Good for them. Your time right now, it is 6:47, and after the break, a special bond between a teen and an Air Force veteran continues. After the break, the big honor he had as escort for the so-called Katrina girl. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News. We'll be right back.
Hello.
Oh,
Welcome
hello.
back.
We're too busy chatting over here.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right, let's get a check on the weather. But before we do that, let's talk about Gail Garrett. You noticed that Michael and I are matching this morning. I'm telling you, I think it's just because our minds, we're linked and we kind of know what each other's feeling. We're always around each other all the time.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Shout out to Gail and Denise Watford.
Yeah.
We're reading our little Twitter feed.
I know, and we love you guys for watching. Seriously,
thanks
love
for
it.
tweeting at us.
All right.
Or to us, however.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting in touch with us
There you
via
go.
social media. All right, on that note, let's look at weather because it is 6:50. We still have a whole lot of news to get to still. Michael, you have the floor.
Okay, let's take it away. Live look outside. Checking out the Magic City. It is cooler this morning. 43 right now in Birmingham. A good looking sunrise on this Sunday morning. High pressure in control. Cold front made its way through. Did you notice the wind yesterday afternoon? It was pretty gusty at times. So the wind coming in from the north this morning, a very light breeze at this point in time. Storm track radar, the sweep comes back clean. We are chipping away slowly but surely at that drought situation. Good morning to you, Moody, 35 right now, 38 Coleman, 40 Double Springs. Jasper checks in at 42. T-Towns at 44, Talladega 43. Our average low for this time of year right around 44. If you're going to make it a lake day, here's what you need to know. A lot of sunshine, cooler today, winds from the north, fairly light, around 5 miles an hour. This is the air temperature, not the water temperature, 63 to around 65. I'm sure the water temperature is a little cooler than that. All right, let's talk about the numbers. Storm Track Futurecast, clouds, radar. Here we go. Going to kick the clock off at 6. Temperatures mainly in the 30s and 40s, but a nice quick climb into the mid-60s by 4 o'clock this afternoon. A few clouds approach west central Alabama, but overall a good-looking day as we round out the weekend. Okay, Monday morning, we'll stop the clock at 8 o'clock. Monday morning, clouds, kind of thick clouds across central Alabama. So a cloudy start with temperatures in the 50s, decreasing clouds west to east. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a few areas like Gadsden, Anniston, mainly cloudy. Birmingham becoming mostly sunny. Jasper sunny in 77. Tuscaloosa approaching the 80-degree mark. Okay, and tomorrow's the first day of spring. So if you like a warm-up, look at the numbers in the forecast on Tuesday. Low 80s, maybe even the mid 80s around Tuscaloosa. So a nice warm-up is around the corner. Hour-by-hour forecast. Into the afternoon, 12 o'clock, temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, mid 60s by 4. Allergy report real quick. Trees are the culprit if you're sneezing and have those watery eyes due to those allergies / pollen. All right, there we go. Storm Track 7-day forecast, low 80s Tuesday. The showers return on Wednesday. Alex.
Michael, I can't wait. Well, I almost said summer. Spring is right around the corner with summer-like temperatures. Okay, your time right now, it is 6:53. Summer will be here soon enough. You're just waking up with us. We're going to get you all caught up on all of the top stories we've been covering throughout the morning. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome on back. Your time right now, it is 6:57. We are rounding out the show, but first, we're going to take a look at the top stories we've been covering throughout the morning. First to the story, one person is dead and another is recovering after a fire in North Birmingham. It happened on 16th Street North around 9:30. Crews were met with heavy flames. One person was taken to UAB Hospital with burns. Brighton police are investigating a deadly shooting. Police tell CBS 42 that a man was shot yesterday evening on Clay Street. He was taken to the hospital, but unfortunately, he later died. Birmingham police are searching for clues after a double homicide. 35-year-old Quinchez Spardley and 45-year-old Twalis McClendon were found dead at a home on 69th Place North. Both had gunshot wounds, and police do not believe it was a random act. Authorities need your help finding 14-year-old Ruby Ann Webb. She was last seen in Gunnersville. Now we know she's 5 feet 6 inches tall with green eyes and brown hair, weighs about 180 pounds. If you've seen her or you know where she could be, please call 911.
All right, good Sunday morning to you, Central Alabama. A live look downtown Birmingham, Railroad Park. It is clear, it is cool, temperatures in the 40s right now. A nice looking afternoon, tons of sun. Temperatures will top out in the mid 60s. How about the mid 70s tomorrow, first day of spring, and the low 80s on Tuesday.
All right, go out and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next weekend starting at 5 a.m.